What is up, Rad Potential YouTube, and welcome to today's video where we are going drifting in the Mouse. Now, this is my first time really ever legally drifting on pavement, and in any sort of what do we want to say, coordinated manner, right? However, Clarksville Drift does a great job, but there's no cones and stuff, so it's really hard to, you kind of just make up a line. But anyways, it was a super epic fun day. The Mouse slayed. Here's some sick footage, or at least the footage that I did get, being a one-man camera film driver operator crew. So I want to appreciate everybody we saw out there and enjoy some skids. kids, and you have kids and you're older, people you meet in 20 years, well, thank you, so that you can actually hear them talk. Alright guys, drift day's over. We're back at the house. The car performed epically. So, had a little bit of a hiccup where I think my fuel pump got hot just from sitting in the line and it running for forever. So like I tore off into the thing and it started breaking up, but no big deal. It filled the bowls, let it cool off. Did some good stuff. I never had any issues with temperature. Oil temps would stay right at 200, if not just below when I'm idling around. The coolant temps never got out of the normal range, so I don't have like a digital gauge or anything for coolant temp. If you've noticed, I do have a water temp gauge in my dash, but it is set up for oil temperature. I just bought the water temp one, so that's what it says on it. Oil pressure was great. Never ran into any fuel slosh issues. The Weber killed it. It literally ran flawless. I mean, it couldn't have asked for maybe 30 more horsepower, but it really wasn't that bad. I just ran on some old, dry rotted, crappy tires, and they came to life pretty good after like 1 or 2 runs. They'd get pretty sticky, which was nice. But I do think I'm going to stock up on some like cheap Kumo 13s. You don't need a ton of traction with this car, but you do need consistency. That is key. So, what are my thoughts on drifting a stock angle full bridge Weber with a GSL diff 12A? Or GSL diff 12A first gen. So here's my thoughts. Now, coming from rally, this car makes a ton more power than my race car, but you have to learn how to manage transition. And I would say more so than like I've slid around in an S13 that's pretty stiff. And that car, it just transitions and the weight moves, but the whole car doesn't like, move, right? So I'm on Racing Beat springs, just whatever stock replacement dampers, and I can tell you that you have to, my first transition, luckily I've done a lot of driving in one of these cars. First transition, you got to be ready for it, because it's going to flick and you might spin out, might whatever, which is no big deal to spin out in your first few times. I spun out twice, but, no major thing. I will say, you're definitely going to want, I have camber plates in the front, so I have like 3 degrees of camber on both sides. Or 2.5, I think it's 2.5, I'll check it. But anyways, and basically like the camber plates help a ton because my car was super gripped up in the front, and that's on a 205 all season, so like I'm not even on a super grippy tire, but the car is just super light, so it does work really well. And the rear was just a 13, a waffle wheel with a 185, so nothing too wild. But yeah, the power was good enough. I would say, like I said, 30 more horsepower would be ideal. But I didn't have enough power to keep the tires rolling up the hill. But I could do all the other transitional parts. Definitely need to have a solid functioning handbrake. If you do not have a good handbrake, then it's going to be tough for you to like reinitiate a drift or just, it's just clutch if you have a handbrake. Like you can do so much more with it. Obviously you'll have to like learn how to drift first without it, just getting the car sliding and stuff. But having that handbrake, you get into a drift, if you need to check up, you need to throw in a little more angle mid corner, you can always like, if you're running out of power or coming in shallow, or I don't know, you'll situationally will know when to use it. As I'm not a drifty guy, so I don't entirely know the best way to explain everything, but the handbrake helps a ton, and a good one. You don't want one that doesn't work half the time. Also, the limited slip in this car worked fantastic. This is out of an 81 GSL, so I don't know, I should know, but it's like a clutch type limited slip. It's not the like viscous or torsion or whatever. I don't know. It's the early one. I will say mine, when I just drive it around normally, it chirps and makes weird noises just driving, like daily driving it. It's way tighter than a GSL SE one. I never had issues with it unlocking. If I'd catch, like there's a dude that blew his coolant all over the track, and whenever I caught one tire into that, it kind of opened up a little bit. But then you give it like just clutch in, brah, and dump it again, and it grabs right up. But yeah, the thing ripped. There's definitely like 2 or 3 times I was at the lock in the steering, so maybe a little extra angle would be helpful. But with this power level, you really don't, I didn't like run out of angle that much. So yeah, and as far as prep work, stuff that I brought along, I literally packed tires. So I have 3 waffle wheels in here plus my spare. I just threw a general toolkit together, my lug wrench, my Harbor Freight jacks in here, little toolkit there as well. I did bring like my helmet and my fire suit and stuff. Just being from rally, I didn't know how, you know, crazy strict or anything they would be, which they literally didn't care. So I wore my helmet, didn't even wear the fire suit, rolled in tennis shoes, shorts. But definitely drive at your own risk, and know like if your car has fuel leaks and is gonna start on fire, you might want to wear a fire suit. See a little bit of rubber buildup on there, but the main thing for me was getting out, having fun. You know, I'd never done it before, so it was good to go try. And as long as you're a reasonable driver and can keep your car out of a K-rail, I mean, you probably won't tear your car up that bad. If you have a Beehive oil cooler, I would not recommend doing that because it's going to get hot. Your oil temps are going to get hot. But mine's got the SA front mount in it, and it worked flawlessly. So, yeah. I mean, that's the gist of my first drift day. I am definitely going to do it again. Definitely going to go tear hell in this car more. It deserves to not sit around, but knowing that it performs well, I mean, I think we're every bit to take it to some of the events that are closer. What sucked is drove an hour and a half there and back with earplugs because this car is so loud. Ideally, you know, truck and trailer with the AC and like nicey nice. I don't have to worry about breaking the car then, but you know, for what I was doing this weekend, that was plenty, and it rips. So if you got an Rx7 and want to go up, or if you got any car and want to go out and do your first time drifting and tear it up, you know, just go out and have fun. See what's up, talk to people. You know, you can never learn if you don't try. So with that, thank you guys very much for watching. We're gonna go do some more drifting, and be ready for some fresh camera stuff because I have some cool stuff coming. And thanks for watching. Keep it rad.